You know that feeling, right? You're just wading through tons of information, articles, notes, especially in VC. It moves so fast.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to find that one key insight. It's tough cutting through the noise. Well, today, we're doing a deep dive into some really interesting stuff. A company called EON Reality and their new initiative, EON AI Ventures. We've got some material here showing how they're trying to, well, basically shake up startup creation.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how this gets right at a really tricky problem in the startup world, which is, the incredibly high failure rate. So much of that is down to subjective calls on founders, gut feelings. So our mission today is basically to show you how EON AI Ventures, with this Wealthweaver Wayfinder tech they have, is offering a really data-driven fix. They want to replace what they actually call the billion-dollar guess. Replace it with something more scientific for finding entrepreneurs who'll likely succeed. We're going to explore what that really means for founders, investors, maybe even global entrepreneurship.
Okay, so let's dig into that billion-dollar guess a bit more. Venture capital right now. It's heavily based on intuition, right?
Correct.
And who you know your network.
Absolutely. That's been the traditional model.
And it leads to, well, pretty staggering failure rates. Over 90%.
Yeah, 90% plus is often quoted. It's a huge gamble, fundamentally.
But here's where EON Reality comes in, and it gets really interesting. They claim they've found a way to actually measure founder DNA. Scientifically, that's a big claim. How are they actually suggesting they can do that?
It is a big claim.
Yeah.
And the heart of it is this Wealthweaver Wayfinder. Think of it as a pretty sophisticated AI assessment engine. Its whole job is to pull together psychometric data, behavioral stuff, situational tests, basically how a founder thinks, what they've actually done, how they react in certain situations, and use all that to predict entrepreneurial success with more accuracy. They're making 3 big promises here.
Yeah.
1, end the subjective guesswork. 2, hit a documented 75% survival rate for the ventures they pick. And 3, really open up entrepreneurship, democratize it by removing that network bias.
Yeah.
So if you step back, this isn't just tweaking the model. It's trying to turn venture creation from like an art into a science.
Okay, a 75% survival rate. That number just jumps out. It's incredibly ambitious compared to, well, everything else. What kind of research, what methodology are they basing that on? Because, if they're right, that changes everything.
It's definitely a headline number.
Right.
And it links straight to their research on what they call the hidden unicorn archetype. EON Reality's research, especially looking at like 2023 to 2025, suggests there's a big shift happening in how the really valuable companies get built.
Yeah.
We're often talking about small teams, super technically skilled, often young, maybe 20, 25-year-old university friends. And they move incredibly fast, totally native to AI.
Hidden unicorns. So it's not just youth, it's a specific kind of team setup. This university trio model they mentioned, what defines it? Why is it working so well right now, according to them?
Exactly. It's specific. Usually 2 to 4 co-founders, often from top universities, deep backgrounds in computer science, engineering, AI, research, serious technical chops.
Right.
And what's really key here, it suggests that maybe in this AI-first era, that pure, focused technical skill in a small, agile team might actually be outperforming, traditional business experience or bigger corporate structures.
What?
They talk about extreme velocity, getting to $1 million ARR in months.
Months, not years.
Months. And capital efficiency hitting unicorn valuations. $1 billion with tiny teams, sometimes less than 10 people.
Wow.
And they point to examples like Mercor, founded by 22-year-olds, now valued at, $2 billion? Or Liquid AI, MIT team, huge valuation right after their seed round, things like that.
Okay, so we're getting a picture of who these hidden unicorns might be. Smart, fast, technical teams. But the billion-dollar question, pardon the pun, is how does EON AI Ventures actually find them? Let's get into the Wealthweaver Wayfinder mechanics. You said to 4 layers. Walk us through that.
Right. They position this as a real step change from old methods. So, Layer 1, the psychometric and cognitive core. This is about scientifically measuring things like resilience, cognitive ability, grit, that drive. It's a 75 to 90-minute assessment. Adaptive, gamified, so it adjusts to the person. It uses standard Big 5 personality stuff, but mixes in traits really specific to entrepreneurs, like conscientiousness.
Okay, makes sense. Measuring the inner stuff.
Then Layer 2, the digital breadcrumb analyzer. This uses AI to scan public information, LinkedIn, GitHub, maybe articles, blogs, looking for patterns. Is this person a self-starter? How fast do they learn new skills? And the key is it focuses on demonstrated initiative. What have they actually built or done, not just what they say on a resume.
Got it. So it's about proof, real actions. What about putting them to the test?
Exactly. That's Layer 3. the Virtual Assessment Center. This is a 90-minute session using their EON XR platform, immersive virtual challenges. It tests problem solving live, how they collaborate, how quickly they can prototype or adapt in these, realistic simulated environments.
So you see them in action.
Right. See how they think on their feet under pressure. And finally, layer 4 is the AI synthesis engine. This is where their proprietary algorithms take all the data from the first 3 layers, hundreds of data points. It integrates everything holistically and spits out a single founder potential score, the FPS. It's a score from 0 to 1,000. Plus, it gives a detailed profile of their likely founder archetype. It turns all that complex data into a clear picture.
That is incredibly thorough. It sounds almost invasive, which brings up that question you raised earlier, fairness, global applicability. With something this detailed, how do they make sure it's fair? How does it work across different cultures, different types of people?
Yeah, that's absolutely critical, and they seem very focused on it. What's interesting is their explicit commitment to fairness safeguards. They talk about regular algorithmic auditing for bias, making sure the AI isn't accidentally favoring certain groups. They've built in support for neurodiversity. They ensure it's accessible globally, even places with low internet bandwidth. And importantly, the actual content of the assessments is culturally localized. They use regional advisors to make sure it's relevant and fair everywhere.
That localization piece sounds vital for global reach. And that ties into another big point from their material, doesn't it? Their strategic focus on the global south. They argue the economics for startups there are actually, well, better. For you listening, this points to potentially huge, untapped pools of talent worldwide.
It really does. And it's not just like a secondary market for them. Their research suggests it's strategically advantageous. They're finding significantly lower costs to acquire customers. They quote 73% lower CAC than in the U.S.
73% lower.
Yeah. And potentially better lifetime value from those customers, too. Plus, you've got this massive youth demographic, 1.8 billion people aged 15-29. And the potential returns, the IRR, they project 25-40%, which is higher than the typical 15-25% in developed markets. The sheer size of the addressable markets can be, 3 to 5 times larger. I mean, India, massive startup scene, huge unicorn valuations already. Africa, the mobile money market is enormous. Latin America, Southeast Asia, the potential is vast.
And to actually operate in these diverse regions, they use a national partner program. Can you explain that a bit? It sounds like they provide the whole toolkit locally.
That's the idea. They partner with local organizations, governments, universities, corporations, and they give them the whole EON AI Ventures infrastructure.
Yeah.
The Wayfinder for assessment, an AI curriculum called the EON Entrepreneur Guide, a no-code tool called VibeCoder for building MVPs, this brainy mentors network, which is like AI avatars for 247 guidance.
AI mentors.
Yeah. And it all plugs into their global marketplace, which apparently has over 40 million users. It's designed as a complete ecosystem, aiming for that 75% survival rate and building strong local brands through their partners.
Okay, so the theory is compelling. The system sounds incredibly detailed. What about results? You mentioned the hidden unicorn research, but are there concrete examples proving this model works? The market validation?
Right, because potential is one thing, proof is another. And yes, they emphasize that the hidden unicorn findings aren't just theory. They point to real case studies that back it up. These companies show, like we discussed, those compressed timelines, getting close to unicorn status in under 2 years. That extreme capital efficiency, big revenues, tiny teams, over 1 million ARR, fewer than 10 people. And it really hinges on AI-driven leverage.
Yeah.
It's not just using AI tools. It's building the company around AI in such a fundamental way that a small team gets massive leverage, massive output.
Right. It's baked in from the start, like those examples you gave. Blacksmith?
Exactly. Blacksmith University Waterloo team, $1 million ARR, just 4 people. Willow Stanfood Group hit over 100K ARR in just 2 weeks after launching.
2 weeks?
Yeah, and Save Superintelligence reportedly hit $1 billion valuation within its first year. Now, obviously, these are standout examples, but they argue these documented cases really highlight the power of this new model we're identifying and fostering.
So wrapping this up, we've looked at how EON AI Ventures and their Wealthweaver Wayfinder are trying to really shift the paradigm, moving away from intuition, gut feel, networks, towards a very data-heavy scientific approach to finding and backing founders. The goal is clear: unlock talent everywhere, especially in overlooked markets, and drastically cut down that failure rate. It's quite a vision.
It really is.
Yeah.
And if we just connect this to the bigger picture for a moment, it does make you wonder, if entrepreneurial success can be predicted and nurtured this scientifically, this precisely, What does that mean down the line for how we educate people, for how companies spot and develop talent? How might it change our basic understanding of potential itself, especially as AI gets more and more integrated into everything? How could this kind of approach influence, your own perspective on what it actually takes to build something meaningful today?
Definitely some food for thought there, something to mull over as you navigate your own journey. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into what might be the future of entrepreneurship.